Hello, everyone. This is Sarah Bob with the New Gallery Concert Series, and I am fortunate enough to be here with composer Vanessa Lann and photographer Rashon Rah-Lik Briggs. And Vanessa, would you please tell us a little bit about yourself and the piece we're about to hear?
Okay, well, Sarah, I'm so pleased to be part of this collaboration with Rashon and with the New Gallery concert series, and I'm so pleased that my music's going to be included in January 2021. From there to here, this jubileum celebration of everything that the New Gallery concert series has been about for 20 years. I'm a composer and pianist, originally from New York, but I've been living for 30 years in the Netherlands. I came to the Netherlands to study in The Hague for what I thought was going to be 1 year, and I stayed. Now composing, working with all sorts of productions in this fantastic country. I live in Rotterdam, teaching and uh, I'm so pleased also to be connected. You and we met in Rotterdam during the Gaudiamus Interpreters Performers Competition when you were performing my music as a pianist 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And winning prizes, and it was wonderful to meet you, and we've stayed in touch since then. And I find it a fantastic full circle to be able to be part of this production, and to once again work with you on my music and to have the collaboration with Rashon.
And could you tell us a little bit about your piece?
Sure, it's a piano quintet, so piano plus string quartet. And 2 years ago, the piece was premiered during the Brundebar Festival in England, and that's in Newcastle, Gateshead. It's a festival that honors the victims of the Holocaust who created music and art, and it celebrates their work. And it also discusses the people who have survived, and each year there's a theme. I was commissioned to write a piece for this piano quintet at the closing concert in January of 2019. The theme was childhood, and a woman who uh, originally was from Berlin, and through a series of extraordinary events was able to survive the Second World War, the only person in her family who did so. A Jewish woman who eventually was able to make a life for herself and have a family in the UK, and contributed a lot to this festival in Newcastle, Gateshead. And so I was asked to write a piece that would be honoring her life and honoring her. And the piece is called One Life. From the Talmud, he who saves just one life saves the world entire. And the title is about celebrating the life of one person. And I won't say too much, but the string quartet players in the piece are evoking childhood, they're evoking vulnerability, they're evoking a kind of a lullaby, actually, and the fragile qualities of innocence. The piano part is in juxtaposition to the strings, very aggressive, and the threat that is always around us, the things that can happen that we must always remember, and the things that we survive, hopefully. And so it's a struggle throughout the piece between the piano and the strings.
Yeah.
My name is Rashon Briggs. A lot of my friends from college and beyond refer to me as Rah-Lik. It's a nickname I've had for a number of years. I am a teacher here in Los Angeles currently at Hollywood High School. I'm originally from Teaneck, New Jersey, and I'm a photographer by genetics, I believe. My father started taking pictures of my sister and I to keep us busy as kids, and my sister started taking pictures of her friends in high school, and I got jealous and wanted to pick up a camera because she had a camera. So you know, it's been something that gives me an escape when I need it, and also just an indulgence as well. And just to kind of talk about, you know, our collaboration, you know, I'm listening to your description and the conflicting parts of it. You know, I'm actually really excited to hear what you've been able to put together. And then just to, you know, for the audience to kind of see how our creative works have kind of meshed and created this image and this moment. So it should be very exciting for everyone.
You know, I want to mention that originally when I put this program together, it was supposed to happen live and in the spring of 2020, and we all know that didn't happen. So putting it together now has been very challenging in the sense that this was not the form it was originally intended in my mind, right? And um, I love Vanessa's piece and I love Rashon's work. Um, but in this format, I would not have paired you two together. So for a little while, I was concerned. I was like, maybe this needs to change. And then I realized, no, hello, 2020, this juxtaposition of journey from different perspective is exactly what we need. And I wanted to ask you both how you felt about that, about me coming to that place. Um, yes, Vanessa or Rashon, I don't know who would like to speak first.
Well, I know when we initially talked about the possible collaboration, I was really excited to hear the things that Vanessa has done in the past, and then looking at some of the images that I had pulled aside, or things that I felt like I wanted to share, and I had these time lapse images and photos of sunsets and things that I've been able to collect from, you know, my time living here in Los Angeles and having time to get to the beach, you know, whenever necessary.
Mhm.
And you know, you and I talked in depth about the difference, you know, between some of the mood or the tempo of the piece that Vanessa was creating, and then trying to find images that sort of match that mood, without showing any disrespect at all to the reason why the piece was created. And I definitely feel like there was a space for both the mood and the tempo to show respect to Holocaust victims and remembrance of the Holocaust, as well as some of the light and the dawning of the day
Mm.
in sunsets and everything else. So, I mean, you know, I was actually thinking this is sort of how mashups are created. You know, you take two artists from two different perspectives and moments of creation, and you match them together, and then, you know, leave it up to the artist to figure out where there's you know, like I said, where do we cross over, and where do we connect. So I feel like the connection is definitely there, and I hope, you know, the audience enjoys it tonight.
Yes, and also one of the most wonderful and mysterious things about inspiration is that everybody takes something different when they're looking at something or hearing something or being inspired by something. The fact that I was inspired by the life of this woman, Hanni Begg, who survived the Holocaust, um, is not the only thing that people might gather or experience when they're listening to my work. If you get something that relates to your own experience and bring it forth in your own artistry, then that's what it's all about for me. There would be much less interesting about saying this is what you have to hear when you hear a piece of music. It's also the same with interpreters. When the people are performing the music, they're each bringing to it a bit of their own essence and a bit of their own history and background. So the fact that you might hear something that I didn't even intend is what the most magical thing about the collaborative element.
Right.
So I'm very excited and interested, and I'll be so surprised to see what you make after hearing my notes. And something that inspired me from turning into my composition is completely, I have no idea what it's going to result in with your composition of visuals. So
I thank you both so much for being part of this and being a part of my life.
Well, thank you,
Enjoy.
Sarah, for the invitation to be part of this beautiful program. And Rashon, I'm so looking forward to what you're going to make of the piece that I started off, and you're completing it, and Sarah, you're performing it. So yeah.